Well, everyone, here he is. Large Michael himself. Big Mickey. This is the third time I've made a Big Mickey, so let's go back and take a look at the previous versions. One of my first custom showcase videos ever was on Big Mickey, although my original model left a lot to be desired. I didn't properly detail it, I just kinda rushed it out. I was proud that I was able to repurpose two crankies to make it, but a cranky base at the back made it way too top heavy. This thing fell over so many times off camera, in fact you can see it in some shots at episode 29 that it's holding this piece of metal. Yeah, that was just to weigh the front down. I used a tube from a shelf and an upside down paint container to make the crane rotate, but this didn't work well. Overall the basic shape was there, but there were so many problems with the first model.
I say, that's certainly a massive crane.
Yes, indeed. We call him Big Mickey.
On to version 2. Version 2 is just version 1, but with more detail and made 2 years later. I repainted the whole model and painted the base to make it look more like Big Mickey in the show, although there's only 2 layers of girders instead of 3. I removed the base from the cranky on top and replaced it with cardboard that wrapped around the whole arm. This made it look more like Big Mickey, and it hid the popsicle sticks that just stuck out like sore thumbs. I glued 2 bridge supports together onto the back to serve as the counterweight and to represent that platform on the back of Big Mickey. Lastly, I added a Lego turntable on top of the tube to make the crane rotate, which worked a bit better than the last version. I also painted the Lego cab and added a window. The model looked and functioned better, but it just wasn't cutting it for me. You'll notice a string and magnet dangling from the arm. Yeah, it didn't really work. I lost it and then replaced it with some Lego pieces just to make it look like a chain was there, but it didn't really work out. 2021. I decided that I was going to make one last Big Mickey, a model that gets it right and satisfies me once and for all. I made it in about 8 days. First of all, I took the original arm and tried to think of ways to repurpose it. Nothing came to mind, so I ripped it apart. The base remained, but everything else would have to be built from scratch. Luckily, I hoarded a lot of cardboard and had all the supplies I needed, except a paint marker and paint. I actually ran out while I was repainting the base, so I had to go buy more. The first thing I built was the platform in the middle of the crane. I added a paint bottle cap with a brass fastener to make the base for the turntable, and then I made a small clay tower on top of it. I added another cap on top, wrapped it with cardboard, and glued it all together. The clay was air dry clay, so once it was dry, this part of the crane was pretty solid. Next, I cut a strip of cardboard for the base of the arm, added pins and tape, and put it onto the turntable, and then just started building the crane arm piece by piece. There's not much to say, it was just a long and somewhat tedious process of cutting and bending cardboard strips. However, it was fun. It was like putting a puzzle together, but I had to build all the pieces first. One detail I'm proud of is the roof. I made it by separating a piece of cardboard to get the nice texture, just like the roof on the actual model. I had to clean it up a bit with a knife, but I'm really pleased with this detail. Another detail I really like is the arm. I made the arm hollow and built a trolley that goes back and forth with a winch so I can make it go back and forth, not just up and down. The hook and string are currently a Mega Bloks winch held in with sticky tack, because I couldn't find a Lego one. Although I plan to replace it one day. After that, I made the cab and back platform with cardboard and filled them with clay to balance out the crane. Both of these were held in with paper clips and a lot of tape. One last thing in terms of modeling is the back. I added a railing and made it so that the back opens up. This is so I can add one more counterweight. Or wear Big Mickey like a glove.
Yeah, I broke my my Vickerstown Bridge gauntlet, so now I've got like my Big Mickey thing.
And now just realize, if I'm holding Big Mickey like this, I could just use him as a machine gun.
After all the modeling was done, there was just the painting left. I repainted the base with a new coat of gray and added the girder details. This time making 3 layers instead of 2 to be accurate to the CGI version. Painting wasn't too hard, it just took a while. I then added the details with paint markers, and yeah, that's Big Mickey. I would like to make some faces for him though. such as the CGI face to be accurate to the TV series post-season 21, the original unused Tugs face to see what it would look like. Oh, and the Snatcher face, because I want to see that what it would look like, and because, you know, that was kind of hidden from us by a certain nefarious organization, and I don't like them very much. But those aren't needed for my series, so those faces aren't a priority right now. Overall, I'm very satisfied with this model, and I'm curious to see what you all think. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.